Welcome to another edition of the Suburban Driving with Miranda. This week I have the ultimate family vehicle. It is the all-new 2021 Toyota Highlander XSE. Let's check it out. So here we are in the 2021 Toyota Highlander XSE. Now the XSE is the important part because this model never existed before this year. So what that does is it gives you some sportier suspension and a little different aesthetic touches here and there on the outside. Let's talk about the outside for a little bit and the front end, which got me some interesting comments when I posted on the interwebs about it. It seems to be a very polarizing front end look. Now, I quite like that Toyota over the past couple of years has really kind of deviated from their normal, and I don't want to say like mundane humdrum. I don't know what's better. Their looks have definitely gone a bit drastic over the years. I mean, if I look at something like the new Camry, based on what it used to look like versus the brand new model, I feel like they may have ostracized a couple of their legacy buyers, but at the same time, they may have gained a whole new respect from other buyers because of the drastic change in the look. So the Highlander is kind of like that. I remember I drove the all-new previous generation in 2013. And even then, it was an updated look, and it was kind of shocking for Toyota owners or people who previously knew Toyotas, just because of the drastic look to the front end. Well, this all-new Highlander has an even more dramatic front end, and I really like it. I think it looks great. It gives it personality and character, all that jazz. But we're not here to talk about the look, we're here to talk about the drive. So how is it? Well, it has a 3.5 liter V6 with an 8-speed transmission, and it is good for 300 and something horsepower with 261 pound-foot of torque, possibly. There's a lot of numbers kicking around in my head right now, so maybe it'll be somewhere here on the screen. This is a bigger vehicle. It has the 3 rows, but it doesn't feel big. I really like the way it drives, and I've always kind of felt that about the Highlander over the years. It's capable, it's smooth, it has a bunch of drive modes here that I actually haven't played with, which is rare for me. I usually like to change up the dynamic of the drive and really experience what the car can do, but I feel like in normal mode, the Highlander does exactly what it's supposed to do, and it drives really well. And if there's ever been a ringing endorsement for a vehicle, it would be my mother. So she helped me earlier today with another vehicle I had to drop off. So she came to drive the second vehicle, because obviously I can't drive myself, I can't drive 2 cars. And it's not often that she helps me, but when she does, I always give her the choice. Like, does she want to drive her own car, or would she like to take whatever the extra vehicle is, provided it's not something, you know, astronomically difficult to drive or super expensive or manual, because she can't drive manual. So when she saw the Highlander, at first she's like, oh, that's super big. Like, I don't know. And she's very loyal to one particular brand and one particular type of vehicle. She's had 4 of them now. She's on her 4th one, and she loves it. So changing her mind and getting her to like something else doesn't happen often. But she said she wanted to drive the Highlander. So perfect. So explained all the buttons, got her in, and when we got home, her first comment was that she found it very easy to drive. She didn't feel like it was too big. She felt comfortable on the highway, and she felt that it had decent pickup so she could keep up with me. I don't drive fast when I have people following me. It's not like I'm trying to lose her or anything. She said I change lanes all the time. But she was able to keep up with the Highlander. And I think if any vehicle is going to, you know, have a check mark of like you did well, it's if my mother, who, and I love her to bits and bless her, knows very little about vehicles and doesn't get to drive a whole lot of them very often, and like I said, has had this same brand and trim level and type of vehicle for the past I don't know how many years. When she gets into a car and says I like it, you've done something right, and you've appealed to the greater masses, because my mother is the quintessential John Smith of the car buying world. So no, I really like the Highlander for that, and I think overall it's a very comfortable vehicle to drive, would make an amazing family car, all the space in the back. It can also tow up to 5,000 pounds, which is great if you have a boat or you do a lot of camping and you have, you know, you've got your camp trailer thingy hooked up to the back. So there's a lot of things you can get done with this vehicle. So yeah, no, overall, the Highlander, I was impressed with it when I drove the new generation years ago, and it continues to impress me now. When it comes to the interior of the 2021 Toyota Highlander XSE, it is a really nice place to be, and it's super roomy and comfortable. And whether you're in the front seat, the second row, or the third row, there's actually a decent amount of room everywhere. And you've got the coolest little like storage compartments, especially up front. I'm a sucker for them. I love the little shelves that they have on the dash. I know it's silly, but it's a small little design element that you really don't see anywhere else. There are other companies that have had a little one above the glove box, but these I find are really practical. And there's a little space to bring your wire up for your phone. Plus I have the Q charger down here in the armrest. Very easy to get to. It's a really nice slide opening. Nice big shifter. I don't have to press buttons to shift into drive, reverse, or neutral. Bonus, I have plenty of buttons to touch. It's not all touch screen. Again, thank you, Toyota. And then in the second and third rows, there's actually a decent amount of room for myself, for my son. He finds it very easy to get in and out. He can easily move the seat to get into the third row if he wanted to, or getting in and out of the vehicle in general is extremely easy. And there's lots of room back there, and he has his own cup holders. Like I said, I've got the captain's chairs in the second row. It's not a full bench. So even if you wanted to slide through to the third row without moving the seat, he can do that because of his size. When it comes to cargo space in the back, with the third row up, you kind of lose a huge chunk of that trunk. You know, that's the kind of the bad side of having a third row if you need that space. But put those third row seats down and you have a nice big trunk, high roof, a lot of space. You know, this isn't one of those silhouette-y, coupey, almond-shaped SUVs. This is a nice big square one, as it should be. So it has a lot of space back there. And just in general, it's a really nice, comfortable place to be. I like the materials used. The steering wheel feels good. I like the layers in the dash. It has this very like modern feel to it, but it also feels like it'll wear well. You know, they're not super soft touch surfaces, but I feel like they would clean well. And as this is going to be probably a family car, or like a dog transporting car, like you're going to put a lot of stuff in this car. And especially, you know, if you buy something this large, whether it's hockey equipment or children or whatever it is, and I think it will wear very well. So first off, super apologies for the car being filthy, but we have entered the winter months, and keeping any vehicle clean in these conditions is so difficult. I basically end up looking like this the moment I leave the car wash. So you're just gonna have to imagine that it's nice and pristine and clean, and that it's not freezing cold outside. And we'll do that for the next 5 months. Agreed? Agreed. All right, that aside, the exterior of the 2021 Toyota Highlander XSE is definitely different than the outgoing model. And as I said during the drive, the XSE is a brand new trim level for the Highlander. And what it does is it really changes the exterior look with this new beefy, linear, aggressive front end that kind of became a bit polarizing when I posted a photo online. There's some of us who really like it. I am one of them. I think it's really different. I think it gives the Highlander a look that other SUVs don't necessarily have on the road. Some think it's too much, kind of like the Mazda Insane Asylum grin from a couple of years ago, but I like it. I think it's different. I think it gives the Highlander a bit of personality. You know, in the past, this has been, as is the case with most Toyotas, kind of a mundane, regular, not a head-turning type of vehicle. And now they've given it a look that gives it some character. And I like that. I like the linear rear tail lights. I think the front end, the hood, you know, from the driver's seat, and you look down at this hood that has this divot down the middle, you kind of feel like you're in, dare I say, a race car. You know, like it's got this aerodynamic feel to it, and meanwhile you're driving this big clunky SUV. So kudos to Toyota. I think they kind of went out on a limb when they designed this Highlander, and they did well. All right, guys, well, that's been it for me and the 2021 Toyota Highlander XSE. Thank you so much for joining me. As you can see, this is a great family car, and I really like the improvements to this year's model. As always, if you have any questions or concerns, feel free to hit me up at Miss Miranda L on Twitter or Instagram, and Miranda Lightstone on Facebook.com, or drop a comment below the video here on the Suburban On Air. Thanks so much for watching, guys.